first principles wrestling with one.
Yes, good. In this situation, we can go.
Have we gone too far around? This is like Spinal Tap. Yeah, here we go. Rock and roll. Where's the stage? I think this can't be. No, I think we've gone too far. Well, it's the guy with the drumsticks, isn't it? Come on! And they keep running into the same guy fixing the boiler system. Which way are you going? I think it's this way. We've taken a wrong turn somewhere. 1 second. There we are. I'm just going to have to disturb Mr. Hollands now. It's time to go. Mr. Hollands, sir? Mr. Hollands, it's a 1 minute to climb up, sir. Are you ready? I'm ready. Good luck, sir. Break your leg. Oh, crikey, we're 6 weeks early. Or 12 weeks or something.
Honestly, mate, you reckon this will be sold out?
Yeah?
It's going to be fucking insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So...
Even just like the entrance, walking out and stuff, it's going to be ridiculous.
Where is the after entrance? That one?
So, well, we were sort of debating, we were going to theatrically... I shouldn't say this on camera, but probably because it can't happen. We were going to theatrically bring them out up here, but it's going to take 5 minutes and 6 flights of stairs for I'm Biby and all the other fellas to come down. So actually what we're going to do is I can't tell you, there's another secret plan.
Oh yeah.
And we'll reveal it on the day, what we're going to do. It involves Terry on a zip wire.
No,
I'm scared of heights.
You're like Boris Johnson, you're going to get stuck about halfway.
2 flags after
What we were thinking is maybe having like up in the corner here is some Magnus and Kaz, like the the Muppets, the 2 old guys. So we have them sort of commentating up here.
How to describe Kazmar and Magnus? You know, like the Muppets.
seven World Strongest Man titles, yeah, the Muppets.
That should have been 7 for me alone. Do you remember when we were in Norway? Were you in Norway when they came out the ground?
Yeah, no.
And it was like to heavy metal music. Someone had written like a giant.
I can't remember if we did that.
No way. So really,
No, I didn't do the one where we come out of the ground.
And they came.
Storfell.
And somehow it sounded great, but they came out of the ground so slowly. Oh. It was like a Spinal Tap kind of thing, like as the head slowly came out, the guy was running out of the song, and here they are.
Started again.
They still come back. We go to the song. Let me ask you this: when was the first time you came and did a contest that we put on? I put on. Whoever. Terry, do you remember?
I don't know if I can mention the name. Mohegan Sun.
Yeah, Mohegan Sun.
2000, I did 2005 Worlds in Mohegan Sun 2006. It's like May time 2006.
Did you ever do what other contests? I'm trying to think. Take me back to some of the ropier contests we've done together.
Britain's Strongest Man. On the Isle of Man, that was pretty rough. With the 35-metre truck pull. Honestly,
that video's class.
How far removed it is from this.
Well, I don't think he's even going to use the entire time here. It's going to be about a minute. He stretches 60.55 seconds. Terry, how hard was that?
Really hard. Got to about 25 metres and I just couldn't believe how much further I had to pull it again. The worst burning feeling in my legs I've ever had.
It's like, do you remember some of the ones in like Latvia and Belarus and places like that for the old organisation?
Do you remember Belarus? Do you remember Belarus? We turned up and they had no equipment.
Yeah.
But the line was, yes, but there's plenty by side of road.
Yeah.
And it was like, what do you mean? Like
literally going around trying to find rocks to lift for the stone lift.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that bad.
I would say it was old school, but it was more like, just bad school.
Imagine if that happened like now. Honestly, God, people would lose their shit, wouldn't they?
Oh, they go mad.
It was a ski slope.
Yeah.
What's a ski slope?
But obviously there was no snow, so it was like that wrong.
We found a caravan. We pulled a caravan with a rope.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. It was crazy.
And there was more athletes The crowd. I think we introduced the crowd to the athletes to speed it up.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, what
bad?
would be the equivalent if you had to do that for this show? Like, what would be like the London taxi push outside or something? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly, it was shocking.
You couldn't have filled the first section of that road down there. People, there was no. It was. I mean, it was a Belarusian holiday.
Yeah.
Did you ever do the one in the Luzhniki Park in Moscow?
No.
When they filled it, they ordered 3,000 soldiers to go down and stand around and watch us, because it was some people just they didn't know what was going on. It was just the worst ever. Actually, was a car park in Istanbul in the middle of the marathon. No one knew it was the Istanbul marathon, and we were in a car park in the centre, and they built a little arena around us, and nobody was allowed in. Nobody was allowed in. There was like a few people who were like emergency people for the. Came in and watched it. That was it. There's been some shockers.
Yeah, I mean, I think Madison Square Garden, done Wembley a few times. Now this is sort of like.
This is the last one to tick off.
Yeah. For someone I think from Britain and from London, it's like this is so iconic. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, to get to compete here, I've been here loads of times for shows. I've been here for Cirque du Soleil and a few concerts, and now to come here and.
You've been here,
just
Bish?
unreal.
Never to see a concert or anything like that. So yeah, obviously when we first tried to promote it, I was here.
You've never done a concert?
No, never.
Cirque du Soleil here is like epic.
It's
You have to
magnificent.
come.
Yeah.
I'm sure Bish was on last night at the proms. You were in the front row, weren't you?
I sat there just there.
My uncle had his birthday party here.
Frankie Valli on stage.
Well, you were in the choir seat.
Yep. And Frankie Valli was literally.
Did your butt fit in those things?
Oh, it was painful by the end of it, but it was worth it. It was brilliant.
Yeah, there's a.
Well, an old guy, he's still fantastic.
If you're Terry size, you want one of these boxes. You see
I've been in one of those boxes for Cirque du Soleil. Yeah.
Do you know where the Queen's box is?
Good God, sir.
No, it's up there.
Seriously, I know it's got a crowd.
It's there. It's actually there. Well, I think to the left, isn't it? They're the first.
Yes, the one with the crown above it.
Yeah.
You see.
That's the giveaway, isn't it? The one with the crown above it. Yeah. Well done, Tel. And I think they've got a double box.
Yeah, it is.
Right. What was your first contest, Tel?
So I did a competition at All Hallows Holiday Park, a caravan park in Kent, on the near the Isle of Grain. So
Was it a good contest?
it was. I mean, it was on some grass, like by the Thames. You know, they try and make out like it's the beach. It's not. It's the Thames. Like there's no beach there, and it's like on grass that sort of sloped like this. So as you were running with a farmer's walk, you were almost like doing this. And I mean, obviously to come from that.
Did you win it?
I did win it actually.
You did?
I did win my first ever show. Yeah.
But my first ever show was actually down in Docklands as well. Is it Docklands area, right?
No, it's a bit further down into Kent.
It used to be like the strongest man of the Docklands.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I remember winning the farmer's walk and then going over and plucking a cigarette out of a guy's hand and started smoking it just to be a real arrogant kid.
I think we all started like that, though, didn't we?
I'd sank a pint of beer.
Yeah, the whole car park thing, and obviously, I mean, even for me, going from that, which is obviously grassroots level, even when I started doing international shows, and they're still in car parks just with a few crowd and stuff, and obviously to then take this step into this is just. The progression in the time I've been doing it is just huge, and you know, it literally doesn't get any better than this.
No. If this is going to be full, like my graph says, I sit there and play on the computer all the time. Oh, it's going to make it. So, Bish, what was your first contest?
Yeah, mine was in a pub car park in Leicestershire, and it was just like a charity strongman show. I think we were doing like Atlas stone to shoulder, and we were like pick the stone up and drop it, and it was just basically going into the concrete every time you like dropped it each time. So yeah, it was a bizarre show, and now kind of, you know, that was like, Terry's obviously been doing a lot longer than me. That was still 2010, you know, when I started. So in the space of 11 years, now we're getting shows in like the Royal Albert Hall, and who'd have thought that strongman would be kind of mainstream enough to be like filling venues at all, and then even getting invited to do venues such as the Royal Albert Hall is pretty special, isn't it?
So in here, 120 years ago, not quite to the day when we compete, but I think it's like September 1st to 3rd, 1901, they had a 3-day contest, and actually they got 15,000 people in here each day. Wow. And it was the great competition. and it was Eugene Sandowe, and it was Sir Arthur Conan Doyle of Sherlock Holmes. The author was the referee.
Brilliant.
So it's great, isn't it? There's something kind of, I don't know. I feel like I can die happy or something once we've done the Royal Albert Hall. Yeah. It's like we've kind of just about got it back up to where it once was. Here's a small story on the other side. So that was 1901. 1896 was the other time a huge strongman contest was held here. Though it was more of a demonstration. It was actually a guy called Sampson, Charles Sampson, came here, and he'd been doing the Royal Aquarium down the road, and Eugene Sandowe was challenged to come and do the contest against him, but they locked him out. And Sandowe somehow managed to knock the door down because he was locked out early. And then I think the Marquess of Queensberry was there, and the Marquess of Queensberry demanded that he was let in and allowed on stage despite being supposedly late. He'd been told a different time. And the two did battle, and Sandowe won. And that's how he became front page news. And the Marquess of Queensberry, I mean, he was involved in one of the families that helped build this. But move forward 2 weeks from that day, that's 1896, right? And I just ask you this, a quick aside. Our MC, Neil Pickup, quite amusing. How would you describe, in a couple of words, how would you describe his comedy?
Loud, a little bit blue, we probably describe it.
Let's just stop there. That's the pub. He was here for a 3-night run after losing I think it was the Royal Aquarium to Sandown. And after night 1, because the MC was too blue, a northern blue comic, they're booing him out. And that shows you.
So is Pickup allowed in? Is that the question?
Well, I think times have changed. But, and obviously he doesn't talk about a 6'6" erection.
No, he looks like a 6'6" erection. I think that was one of the last times that he described me. Yeah.
That he was posting progress pictures, and it was something to behold, dropped from over 200 kilograms to having a body fat percentage around 6. It looked like a 6'6" erection.
But, I mean, you could take it. It's very tongue-in-cheek.
Is that your head's purple, or is that?
It's because I had veins everywhere, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's when I was all lean and vascular. Now I'm getting a little bit fat again.
Right, do you want to see where we're going to do the axle and everything?
Yeah, definitely not.
Come on then, fellas, let's have a little look on the floor. Opening event's going to be axle, of course. Iron Biby, no doubt, going for a record. What's your axle like, Tel?
It's probably my worst event out of all of them. Yeah.
What you? Actually, how's your Hercules hold? You're about the closest ever to Mark Felix, aren't you?
Yeah.
Terry can take Felix in the Hercules hold. I'm going to say it right now.
Yeah, I think I can.
You're joking me?
He can take him.
Stop it.
100%.
You heard it here first.
If anyone's going to, it's going to be me.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
People will be heartbroken if you take his record off him.
In the south of England now, isn't he?
It's in my manor now.
It's Terry's manor, you know.
When I did it at Europe, that's the first time I've ever trained for it, and I did 3 weeks training. I got 1 minute 19, so 1 minute 20 basically.
His hands are opening. Can he go for Felix's record?
Well, what a performance there from Terry Hollands. 1 minute, 19.88 seconds. Only Mark Felix has ever bettered that time.
Yeah, and now I'm training for it properly. We'll see.
So we're gonna do. Axel's going to be here. It's going to be looking that way towards the.
What are we starting?
Axel's opening event.
Do you know the weight?
Hopefully 217 kilos at the end.
Yeah, but I mean,
what 160?
160. That's what it is. I think just.
Yeah. Depending on how long we're goofing around during the introductions, it'll be lighter if you need a warm up. It'll be heavier. It'll be that weight if it's ticked nicely. You know what I mean? Depends how much theatre you do beforehand. And then it'll be Hercules hold on the stage. That'll be up there. That'd be cool. It's big badass, isn't it? And then we go to there's a big, super heavy frame walk. But that's deadlift first, isn't it? Big sort of axle deadlift, you know the one?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like 360 or something.
It's heavy. Like 350 I think it is, but
It's a hard 350.
yeah, a real hard 350.
360.
Which ones?
350.
360 they are.
Is it
He
360?
keeps calling them 350 and it annoys us because
Yeah, they are 360.
yeah.
So it's actually 350, and it's on an axle bar, right?
It's 360 fixed with a big kind of big wheel on the globes.
So we're selling it short for us.
Yeah,
It is
360. It's 360. Those are 360.
Yeah. I checked with Gilby. Yeah. Before, obviously, who made them.
Well, thank you for telling me that. I've got to, not like me to sell. I'm not big into selling.
I think that makes
Usually it's £1,000.
What,
makes it
the
even
6'11" Terry Hollands?
Because all the wheels all fixed as well. Makes it even tougher.
Yeah.
There's no rotation or nothing. So
Yeah.
if you want to try and move the bar away or back in,
There's
thing's
no rotation at all on those things.
Nothing.
No.
Bolted. Yeah.
it's all
realise
bolted
that.
together, it's all fixed.
So that's horrific.
And
It
those
is
ones,
really tough.
those ones are much harder than the
Yeah.
the globe ones
At
the same weight.
Yeah, it is weird.
Way harder.
So there's then going to be a heavy frame. Should be fun after Hercules Hold. Yeah. And then
I didn't think about that.
I know I didn't think about it now until the second. Now.
It's going to be heavy with straps, I think, though.
Is it?
I think it's with straps.
I could do with straps. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the wooden one.
The wooden ones, yeah.
There might be a hammer hold, depending. We're going to have to sit down and crunch the time, just because Terry loves it.
It's the worst event in strongman. It is the worst event in strongman.
But I think it's the ultimate test of true strength.
Yeah. Ultimate test of shoulder strength for sure, yeah.
Ultimate test of who's got the shortest arms.
Yeah. I hate it. You love it too, don't you?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Yeah. I think
We're-
I hate
we're
it
both
just as
big
much
fans,
as you.
You should be quite good now with the old
No, they're getting better, aren't we? Just getting thicker.
big booby
Yeah,
legs.
just lean like this. We're both working out ways to get better at it.
Yeah.
And then Stones finish.
Stones. Yeah.
We're going to just do the platform down the middle.
So what was the original plan?
That's always, there's going to be a stone wall at one point.
It's a stone wall, but not stone barrels.
Axel, Hercules hold.
Axle, Hercules hold, deadlift, frame. It's still debated to be the front hold, and then
So you're doing 6
stones. We might do. Bish, tell what do you reckon? Who's going to win this contest now? You know the events.
I mean, Novikov, reigning world's strongest man, is a very consistent athlete. He probably, I mean, it's going to be about being consistent in this,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, it's tough. You know, it's a good set of events. There's no one who screams about smashing all of them. Everyone seems to have like a
Yeah.
weakness somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think it's been incredibly tight. But I mean, I guess your safer bet would be betting on Novikov at the moment.
What about
He's-
yourself?
well,
Yeah, Bish could win.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because he's here. Of course he could. For sure.
Axle. The Bish got the axle to match these.
As long as he does enough. That's the
Does
thing.
it enough,
Doesn't
yeah.
doesn't matter what Biby does. Because
how many people are going to be hitting 200 kilo axles? You know, at the moment, I don't know how many people hit. Like a 200 log and a 200 axle is a completely different beast. You know, it's incredibly much tougher. I think the axle.
Terry Hollands, possible winner if there's no front hold.
yeah, well, I know what I can bring to the table on all those events. So
If you were to pull out the bag and get a Hercules hold win, it's possible.
Yeah.
People think that's the most impossible of all, but that's
I don't think it's impossible.
frame carry. There's almost no one better when you're on form. Deadlift.
Yeah.
You're the king of heavy reps at the moment, right?
I don't know about that, but I'm up there.
You're up there.
Yeah,
There's 3 events you could actually win, right?
yeah. Stones will be okay.
You used to be great at Stones. What happened, Tom? When are we going to see that?
My body started falling apart.
All right, here's my prediction. I think Prince Biby is going to come here in the Royal Albert Hall, and there's something written in the stars. The great grandson of a king is going to come here. He's had all kinds of difficulties, and he's going to break a world record. He can Hercules hold like with the best of them. He was not far off Felix previously, and I reckon that. Do you remember what he did with the frame carry, the car walk? Remember how he could shift?
He's leading Lawrence, I don't believe it.
He trains so hard, this man. It's paid off. Look at that.
Charlie, arguably the best in the world at this, but Biby schooled him.
Iron Biby in the lead. Charlie, a great time, 9.77. And there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Let's not forget who's got the world record in the frame carry, all right?
Yeah. Sorry, Bish.
Don't be talking about frame walks without talking about who's got the world record. I see the whole Charlet versus Biby. Well, they've got to go faster than 8.26.
Very quick work from Adam Bishop. Wow, look at that. It's a new world record, 8.28 seconds. And 9.28 for Terry. He'd have got one as well.
He was inside the old world record, but Bishop diving for the line with 400 kilos.
Yeah, and a little bit of British strongman history right there.
In the frame carry, all right?
Are you going to do the chicken dance afterwards?
The chicken dance afterwards, yeah. It was so close between me and Terry like that year, so I'm looking forward to another rematch against Terry on the frame walk.
You were a bit shocked actually, beat you by...
It was crazy.
Very close though, wasn't it? I think you had broken the record as well in the same...
Yeah.
There was 3 of us who broke the record that day. It was...
All I'm saying is Iron Biby, he can do... genuinely, but okay. No, nothing's guaranteed, is it? No Novikov there. I mean, there's rock stars of all you guys.
Oh, the lineup's brilliant.
What do you think of Iron Biby? My gut feeling is he is one of the strongest humans that's ever been born, if not the strongest I've ever met.
His shoulder power is unrivaled in anything we've ever seen.
Yeah. You would agree with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
His shoulder power is something we've never seen before, like in all honesty.
Yeah.
But, you know, strongman is about consistency.
You
You
must
can have
train
really
yourself.
strong shoulders.
Yeah.
You have to be able to do all the events, and then you have to be able to do them in a 3-hour period. You know, and less than that, because Giant Slow shows are really quick.
But how good is if you were assuming what we know about his training, if you were to have the same amount of training Iron Biby's had, and you turned up, how good would you be, do you think? Knowing how little and how amateur in comparison. No offense to Iron Biby.
He's crazy. He's an absolute genetic freak. I don't think, as like I said, I haven't seen anyone do these things.
Have you seen his tricep push downs or pull downs?
No.
It's a rope with some weights attached to a rope.
Yeah.
It's like it's a jungle gym. He has no atlas stones.
I mean, I do think he's just sort of scratching the surface of what he's capable of.
I'd agree.
Without, and this might sound a bit harsh, but it's down to him to fix that. It is down to him to fix that. He's got all the ability in the world. It's always the way. Some people are just super talented, super gifted, and they just get things wrong away from that.
I just feel like this is going to be it. So something royal. He's royalty. He's prince. Now he calls himself symbol.
We'll see. I mean, he can deliver a good performance on his day for sure. I think he proved that at the World Tour Finals that time.
Yeah.
And he was
both of those World Tour Finals he came
Yep.
off of almost no training, and I believe before the Atlas Stones he was leading or in second place on both nights.
Yeah, possibly.
No kidding. If he has learned how to lift Atlas Stones,
Yeah.
I think he'll win here.
But then I think this is the thing. It's like him, and probably sounds like I'm being a bit harsh, but him and Tom are the same. That on their day they can win a show, no problem at all. On another day they can make a few mistakes and drop down the field a
the
bit.
Stoltman boys, haven't we? We're going to have to figure out some bagpipers for this. So if anyone knows a good bagpiper in London, let me know. And ideally free. Aye.
Do we know any strongman fan bagpipers that get to watch the show after?
Well, you played the hairy bagpipes a few times, haven't you?
Hairy bagpipes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that the lineup is so tough, and everyone's so good. It could go any number of ways.
Yeah.
I honestly I would find it really hard to predict who's going to do what because
there's too many good guys. Actually.
Yeah, and everyone's good at everything. Everyone's got events that they're not going to win, but they're still really good at them. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It actually breaks my old-fashioned rule was you needed 2 or 3 great guys, 3 or 4 great names, and then a few ham and eggers who would ideally go out and show how hard it was to do the event, and then the great names would do okay, or maybe well, and then the superstars would come out. That's the old.
There's no ham and eggers.
That's the old. There are no ham and eggers. No, you can't. I mean,
none.
No.
Every single Giant Slow show is you're fighting every single event.
Could every man win it? I mean, maybe.
Yeah. 100%.
There we go. Well, get your tickets. July 24th, Saturday. That's right, isn't it, Nev?
I actually, yeah, he's all right.